Hello everybody. Welcome back to CTC here on the official Community Team Cup YouTube channel. It's been a while, but yeah, better late than never, right? So it's match day 6 and it's CLR2 versus TNR B, so that's Sunday match. A couple of matches have already taken place. The first two, unfortunately, we haven't seen the race, so the home team got a victory because the away team couldn't field a team for those races. But we had MRL versus TNRC Friday, and also we had DTR and TCR facing each other, and yesterday VEZ Racing versus AHR1, and on Wednesday we have TNR A versus ART. So hello everybody in the chat, good to see you. How are we? Hope we're doing good. Just while the teams are doing their practice stuff, and so I wanna go quickly through the quick facts here. Community Team Cup in 2026, what's it all about? So it's an organized team versus team league. We have 14 teams in total from 10 different communities. One common league for the regular season. This year we have 8 match days for that regular season, from February until September. Then the top 8. After that they advance to the knockout tournament from October until December. The rest will continue with placement matches during that same time span as well. And then it will be the grand final in December to determine the 2026 champion. For the match day itself, it is one race between the two opponents. 40 to 50 minutes in time will be translated to a fixed number of laps. The home team can decide the match day settings, that is the car, the track, the weather, multipliers for fuel tires, also the refueling speed, the available and mandatory tire compounds as well. For the cars itself, there is a common car pool for all teams for the season, which the community has been voting on that way around before the season. So a couple of Group 3s, Group 4s, we have Group 2 high downforce, Group 1, some fun cars to drive, whatever. Yeah, I think most of you already know the drill. So let's get into the standings after 5 match days. So we're getting closer to the end of the regular season, and today CLR2 and TNR B both sitting at 3 wins and 2 losses for the season so far, so both still with a good chance to make the top 8 later on, hopefully. It is. See, someone is getting like be on time, so we might jump early into the qualifying session already. So I will present you the match day info, the lineups maybe later. So it looks like we are getting ready for the qualifier itself. 10 minutes in time, but it's the one flying lap rule. So once you complete the lap, you cannot set another one. You can abort your run at any time though, but it's just 10 minutes. And the rule, you are not allowed to impede the other drivers, of course. So that's that part. There's no slipstream. And during the qualifying itself, so it's set to off. So, but the same multipliers as for the race later on. Alright, so let's get into this qualifying session, I reckon. So we are running at St. Croix Layout C in reverse and in the Super Formula 2023 car. So it's either the Honda or the Toyota. The CLR squad went for Honda, TNR went for Toyota for this one. And then we'll have a look at our drivers. So first on the track for CLR is Oscar, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sluxy for the CLR team, followed by Dylan. losing a bit of grass here early on. And we have Beetlejuice for CLR as well. Let's then have a quick look at TNR. FJ is the first driver for the South African squad here, and looks like some drivers are already backing out of their outlap, not feeling the busy going here. So his Speed Racer is here as well for TNR. We have D-Man on the track. And it's Prodigy for CLR, Phantom Steve for TNR in their Lightning Lorry on the track. Okay, so Dylan fresh out on the outlap for CLR. Shred, Beetlejuice, we saw that, and the 12th driver we haven't seen yet is Snowy Mad Dog. So it's the long version of the track, so looking at maybe 2:47s for pole here. And during the qualifying itself, the boost, the overtake is available, so pretty sure the drivers won't use it throughout the outlap, but then they will drain it probably for that flying lap here as well. So looks like it will be Oscar first, and in my good old fashion we'll jump on board now, heading into the final couple of turns. So 100 into the sharp left-hander, and then it's flat already for the run through the final kink onto the start-finish straight on the left-hand side. You see the pit entry, we'll need that later, and then let's go. Oscar with the run using the overtake, heading for turn 1, a fast right-hander, committed with the run into the next fast-flowing section. So coming to the tricky part, like the barrier, if you get it wrong, and Oscar gets it wrong, just like to prove my point, so we'll continue with Slugsy, so that barrier sticking out. You don't want to go to that. Okay, that's interesting. So I think the cockpit might be a tricky one, so we go with the next driver, no problem. It's FJ for TNR, so he got past the village section here, the fast flowing bits, braking for the slow hairpin, the 90-degree turn, the left-hander for the long, very long straight now. So yeah, you see it's pretty much bravery through that first sector, but you have to nail it if you want to do a quick lap, of course. So we see the overtake, it's has been used quite a bit down on the straight into the left-hander, so wide entry, carry the speed uphill towards the bridge section over the crest, and it's braking for the right-hander coming on towards the bridge. Also that sticky barrier on the exit could catch some people later on. Coming off the bridge, left, right, and it's full on the throttle again for the next section. The S is uphill. We go to the left, but then it's an early braking point on this section. We turn right now. We carry the speed through that middle sector so far. This is where you have to be patient a little bit, let it coast. Don't waste the apexes too much. Use all of the track width. So far, looking like a clean lap from FJ. Comes into the next weird braking zone, in my opinion. So this one, it's a slow left-hander again, so easy to understeer into the barrier. I think he just touched the wall a little bit. For the next power section, we see the penalty zone here as well, using up all of the overtake and approaching the final braking zone of the lap. We're looking at roughly the 100 board, then into the left-hander, carry the speed for the long run. That real stepping out, and it's a not a 247, at least a 251 for FJ, who seems to be happy with that. One speed racer with a 57. It's P2 Phantom Steve, third driver on the track. Crossliner will go first, probably. 51.0 for Steve. Laurie comes cross and will set a new fastest lap time. Maybe, no, just a 51.3, so close between them. Dylan with a 50.5 for CLR, the first driver on top of the grid so far. What about Shred? He was quick during the practice sessions, I can tell you that, and he's purple. A 10th. So will we see the first sub 250? It's 7 minutes in, so 3 to go. Probably not time anymore to reset. And it's a 49.8. Shred gets to the front of the grid. So then we have Oscar, D-Man on their flying laps. Sluxy has damage. That's unlucky. Probably he will be starting from the back of the grid. Here he doesn't have time to reset, I reckon. Snowy Mad Dog is on the lap. Beetlejuice as well, and Prodigy. We will go to the next driver who is on a flyer, that is Oscar. Also a quick driver during the practice sessions. Can he beat Shred's 249.8? We don't see purple for now, so I don't know, maybe that full tank and the wind direction, we don't get down to those. At least I've seen 47s. I can tell you that, but maybe not for the one-shot quali. So out of the 59.8 for now, the time to beat, and let's try it with another onboard perspective. Oh, the guys are flying, yeah, pretty much. And during the race we will get some slipstream help here as well, so let's wait for the final sector. That's a smooth run. We don't get any deltas so far. If it's not purple, we don't have a clue, pretty much. Carrying the speed, smooth running, third gear, exit. And then it's the run for Oscar, and he sets a 49, no, a 51, that is P2 for now, so 1, 2, 3 for CLR. What about the D-Man who comes around 50? No, he won't be competing for that pole. It's a 53, that puts him into P7. Sluxy at that moment, so he will probably starting last. Or maybe alternative strategy then can work for the CLR driver. Let's go with Snowy Mad Dog, the only driver for TNR who can grab some points for qualifying. He needs to beat a 250.577 or a top 3 spot. Otherwise, those 6 bonus points will go to CLR. So he comes around the final turn, and it won't be enough for P3. What's gonna be P5 for Snowy Mad Dog? So 2 drivers still on the track. That's Beetlejuice and Prodigy. Beetlejuice, he crosses the line with a 2:51 for his P8. So that leaves us with Prodigy, and he hits the wall, and this won't be good enough for a front row grid start. And it's a 53.3. Alright, so that's P10, and yeah, Sluxy with that mistake early on will be starting P12 as expected. So we have then Shred on pole position, Oscar P2, and Dylan P3 for CLR. And it's Steve for TNR, Bad Dog P5, and Laurie P6. So 3 and 3. Then we have FJ and Beetle on that fourth row, D-Man, Prodigy, and Speed Racer and Sluxy. So yeah, it's not like one team is running away with it at early, and I can already update my spreadsheet, get points out early. I'm so spread table are Dylan, Dog 5, JP 7, Prodigy. All right, sorted. Back. So we just have to wait then for the timer. I can just show you the settings, so I haven't been able to do that. So yeah, the Super Formula 23 car at St. Croix C in reverse, 16 laps. We have times for the tire wear, times 2 the fuel consumption, no mandatory pit stop, 6 liters per secondary speed. We're starting with 100 of fuel, 2 times progression, the afternoon, and preset sunny weather. So that's a lovely day here in France. Also, the softs and the mediums are available. It's no mandatory tire, so it's basically an open strategy call. So we can have a look now at qualifying results graphics for you. So yeah, Shred on pole, Oscar P2, the front row for CLR, then that mixed second row with the Dylan and Phantom Steve. On that third row, we have Snowy Mad Dog and Laurie for TNR. Row number 4, FJ. We'll choose a mixed row again. And Prodigy on row number 5, and Speedster and Sluxy on that 6th row for now. So, for the strategy itself, it probably is a one-stop. Softs and mediums in any order. Maybe you want to be aggressive, you can go for a 2-stop. It's close, I think. But also here, it's a wide track, and there are some overtaking opportunities, especially with the boost and the slipstream and all of that. So even if you make an early stop and you're in traffic, you might be able to some overtakes here. Don't have to wait for the entire lap. So yeah, this could be an interesting setup, and yeah, with the high downforce cars, the slipstream strength is set to real, so not sure how so much. The dirty air is really hurting you in a way. We'll find out if drivers can stay close or if there are completely different strategies as well. That's something to monitor, at least for the first couple of turns. We'll get an idea what to expect. So yeah, 16 laps in total. At some point you will definitely feel the tire wear. I can tell you that, no matter what strategy you are doing. Okay, looks like we are ready. And let's go. Grid start. The false start check, as always. And then have a good one, everybody. Let's go racing. So what do we? Softs, mediums, softs, mediums, 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 softs. Okay. That's interesting. And it's green, 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 and we are racing. Good start for Phantom Steve. On the inside already. For turn number 1, it looks like the 3 CLR drivers will get that T1, and we see the first turn. Yeah, that's the unlucky part. Early on, someone clipped the wall and victim behind. I think it was Beetlejuice. Let me see if I can catch that. Yeah, it looks like he got caught up in that. Let's see his perspective. Carnage! It doesn't stop. Oh no. So unlucky start for Beetlejuice. So he was the one that came up with the combo, by the way. So if you don't like it, blame him, basically. So yeah. So okay, let's quickly go back to the racing action. Shred leading on the soft tires, Oscar on the mediums. P2, Phantom Steve up to P3. He got past Dylan, who is running on those softs. Then it's FJ in P5, a little gap to Lightning Lorry in P6. Slugsy already up to P7, starting from P12. Then we see D-Man and Prodigy side by side coming onto the bridge. Who uses the boost? Oh, it looks like they're going side by side, coming off the bridge. Prodigy on the inside, even on the outside of Prodigy, backing out of it for now. Maybe using a little bit less of the overtake in the early stages. Mad Dog in 10th position, Speed Racer 11th, and Beetlejuice now all by himself in P12. For now, he's on the medium, so it's not... of course you want to be close, but I think he wanted to go longer as well on that stint, so maybe with a little bit of clean air he can close that gap and still make some positions later on in this race. So D-Man and Prodigy P8, P9, that's looked like close, but D-Man opening up a gap to the CLR driver at the moment. Here we have some cars bunching up nicely, and it looks like Dylan has a nice little tow from Steve, and also FJ right behind, and we see Slugsy with some moves early on, up to P5 already. Drake's late, can he get it stopped for the final braking zone? Yes, he can. So Slugsy up to P5, and Dylan now using the boost on the straight. Will he go for the run into turn number 1? Let's see. He's in front now and keeps that position. Now we see Slugsy runs wide behind, but closing that gap to Steve. He runs a bit too wide. The same for Dylan, touching the grass. You need to rely on the downforce, but if you turn it a little too late, and that was close for Phantom Steve. Did you see that, how close he was to the barrier? I'm pretty sure we will see at least one death here at this section of the track. This is like where you have to pray for, oh no, please don't understeer. I want to get through this bit of the track. So, Steve, 610th, gets a little bit of a tow, but here comes Slugsy with the run. Slugsy is on a mission from P12 up to P4. He's on the soft tires, remember? So he's on a more aggressive strategy compared to the majority of the grid. Nevertheless, a great run so far. So up to P4, and it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 CLR at the moment. Phantom Steve leading the TNR train there with FJ behind Laurie and D-Man, the 4 drivers for TNR. Prodigy and still in slipstream range in P9, but has to watch his mirrors. Here comes a Snowy Mad Dog in that 10th position, closing the gap. We go on board and have a little look at the chat. Evening, guys, by the way. So I'm pretty sure that's a combination you don't see every other day here in Gran Turismo. So one of the probably least used tracks, layouts in general, and then also with high downforce super Formula cars. So a very, very challenging combination, this one. Even though there is no weather involved, but yeah, it's definitely high-speed racing here at this fictional French track. And Mad Dog doing a good job closing in on Prodigy. Also Prodigy with the move, and he will get the run probably on D-Man, who had a wiggle. He's still there, Who gets the run? He covers the inside. No, Prodigy on the outside. Can they go side by side? It's hard. Oh, and around the outside. A committed move from the Steeler driver. He's pinned down narrow though through the final kink, but he made a stick so far. He is vulnerable now into the first turn. And D-Man goes for the run. He has a slipstream, and oh, he breaks early. He wasn't committed enough though. Ooh, and contact with the wall and his teammate. Oh, this is the tricky one. If you're a little bit out of shape and don't use the downforce of these cars, you feel like, oh man, boy, this is not really turning at all. And a big wiggle again for Mad Dog this time. So yeah, tricky cars to drive, and with damage. I found that I had a little bit of a practice session with the CLR guys this week. And if you have damage on that front wing, so that car it doesn't want to turn anymore, that's really, really crazy to see. So yeah, avoid getting damage on the front wing here, that's for sure. So let's have a quick look at the positions and the gaps. Shred leading on his softs, 3.5 seconds the gap to Oscar, who is on the mediums. Then Dylan with the soft tires on P3. Then what happened to Slugsy? He was in P4, he's down to P6. So maybe a little mistake that puts Phantom Steve into the 4th position, FJ E5, and it's side by side with Slugsy. Slugsy tries to go for the cutback, couldn't make it work so far. He has to be patient now. He has a bit more grip on his tires and more entry speed. Can he get that position? So a little gap to Laurie behind, 3.3 seconds for now. He can focus on the battle with FJ in front. And one thing I just see here is that Slugsy used quite a bit of his overtake already. Yeah, he started last, of course. He probably had to use it to gain those positions, use the overtake to move up the order, but now he's not close enough this time. Oh, the soft tires already like wearing too much and losing the grip on the indicator. It doesn't look too bad, but maybe with the tire temperatures and the way how you drive it, we don't know. Let's follow him through turn 1. That is fast right-hander into the next off-cambered left-hander, and a bit too wide onto the grass again, and oh, he has a spin, and that's unlucky. So another mistake, and that's the up and down race. So you see how tricky it is to drive so Slugsy down into P11. Let's have a run up the order, shall we, Speed Racer? Also struggling a little bit with the conditions and the car, and so it's P12, 7 seconds behind Slugsy, who with his spin drops down to P11. Beetlejuice, he is gaining some positions after that lap 1 incident, up to P10, 2.2 seconds to the next driver in front. That is D-Man, who is in a little train with Snowy Mad Dog, so gaining in that slipstream range here as well. And those two drivers, they want to catch a Prodigy in P7. Prodigy, on the other hand, just 1.5 seconds behind Lightning Lorry. 255, 256s, so at 58 last time round from Lightning Lorry. It is an opportunity maybe for Prodigy. We move further up the order. FJ in P5. 2.6 seconds now the gap to Steve, who seems to be the most confident driver for TNR in this combination. So P4, 3.7 seconds the gap to Dylan for CLR in P3. Oscar now has the fastest lap, and he's on the mediums, so that's interesting to see. Shred to 55 to 53, so he's still very much in control of this race, but he's on that, maybe for now, the aggressive strategy, and maybe looking at a two-stopper. Well, he goes then on to the mediums after 6 laps, so I think the most common strategy will be 10 on the mediums and 6 on the softs. But you can also do like the two-stopper, 5 softs, 6 softs, whatever order. It's still not sure about those drivers that started on the softs, what they want to do now. But yeah, we see now gaps are opening up now a little bit, so there was a moment. Oh no! Lorry! We have to use the replay, and if it hurts, is it the wall? Oh no! Oh, whoa. Yep, I've been there as well, and this is so painful, and this is like, ouch, ouch, ouch. So yeah, big moment for Lorry, who drops down to P11. Also Mad Dog, P11. So those mistakes, they can and will happen, and if they happen, oh yeah, it's cost you so much time. And that also means that we have Slugsy in P9, E-Man in 8th, and Beetlejuice already up to P7, so keeping it very consistent. So he was dead last after turn number 1 on lap 1. Now he's running in P7, and consistency, it's really what you need. This one. See the gaps between, so Prodigy all by himself in P6 won't be like too sad about it. Running P6 doesn't have to worry about the tires or fighting with other cars. That's fine. Let's have a look at the two lead TNR drivers, FJ and Steve, still running in P4 and P5 on the same strategy as Oscar in P2. So with Shred and Dylan on those soft tires, are they arguably a different strategy? We'll find out. Shred stays out, does at least 6 laps, on the soft. Dylan comes in, so he's going for the aggressive strategy. We'll see where he will come out after changing the tires. Don't think he will putting in any fuel on this stint. Or if he does, and he might be using the mediums, so who knows. But yeah, Dylan, let's have a look. He's on the softs again, yeah, and probably no fuel. We'll find a little gap between his two teammates, Prodigy and Beetlejuice, so he doesn't have to fight. I think this is good news for Dylan and his strategy call at the moment. So a quick run, and we will see that the gap between Shred and Oscar is coming down less than 3 seconds, so that those medium tires are really good tire compound for these Super Formula cars. And if you're not facing any difficulties, also it's probably the go-to strategy, medium to soft. Shred with that 6th lap on those softs. Let's see what he will do, if he's going for the 2-stopper or go for the long medium run later on. We'll see. So Shred, Oscar 1-2, then Steve in 3rd position, FJ P4. Dylan already passed his teammate on the outlap or the new set of softs. Prodigy on the mediums is the start of P6, and Beetlejuice P7 with the comeback drive so far. Then we have D-Man in 8th position, Lightning Lorry in 9th, and Snowy Mad Dog P10. Looks like Sluxy also on a new set of softs, so he has a bit of clean air now. Can he take advantage of that? Oh, and Speed Racer in P12. Ooh, nearly lost the car. Good catch. Still fighting with the car and the track, more with the opponents. This one. We go back to Shred. He comes around the final turn, and we'll be seeing him driving into pit lane. So Oscar will take the lead for CLR. And it will be Steve and FJ for TNR P2 and 3 for the moment. Shred with a new set of softs. It's right behind the TNR driver now in P4 and will be charging now. Of course, Arden, we can admire Prodigy's adjustments to delivery just for you, of course. So he put in quite some time to make his signature red very prominent on that car. So yeah, but we have to admire his livery design skills, and also he's driving a really good race. So come on, we have to showcase it a little bit. Exactly, Arnold. Yeah, that's probably better. So we go to Shred to close that gap to FJ already coming on to the bridge. And hasn't used any boost so far. Will he use it now? No. But quite a bit surprised to see that. Whoa, a move around the outside. Coming off the bridge. What a move it was. There's cries for replay. Wow, look at that. FJ covered the inside, but Shred with the confidence. Yeah, with fresh soft tires, and he relied on that downforce, and oof, what a move it was. So let's see the gaps. Oscar nearly 10 seconds to Steve. Yeah, on that same strategy with the mediums for the start of the race. Shred after the pit stop, 3 seconds and pushing. Before we saw that, FJ and Dylan also with 1 pit stop in on the soft tire compound. 2.3 closing the gap to FJ and running a purple sector will be see the new fastest lap. A nice run. Might even grab a little bit of a... No, not the toe before the line. Still a fast lap, and it's at 51.238. 1.5 seconds the gap now. And carrying the speed. Understeered a little bit, still gaining on FJ in front, so we'll have to go to the Jaeger cam and make that dum noises, because this is exactly how FJ feels now. I think Dylan is approaching really fast and gained nearly a second since the end of the lap, using the slipstream and the boost probably now. Yeah, using that boost, and he goes around the outside and is half a second up into the uphill. Of course, it's tricky here as well, but the wide entry and relying on that downforce. Dylan with a good run, maybe with a new slap, and we see Shred versus Steve. Just spotted the end of the overtake. We'll have to go to the replay and see. This time Shred using the overtake now, and this time going for the inside line. So last time it was around the outside, this time taking the more traditional approach. And Shred up into P2 again. Go back to Dylan, who was on a flying lap. We also see that Slugsy with a 250.9 fastest lap, but Dylan with another purple sector. And he's catching Steve here. .6, 1.5 maybe down the straight, so getting a little bit of a toe before the end of the lap. We see 1.5 for now, not using the overtake now to get closer. Is still up by 6/10 on that fastest lap of the race so far. 1.5 braking. Well, that's always so close to the wall. They carried more speed in than out of that corner, so lost a little bit probably. And Steve comes in. He's going for 8.8. Doesn't go for the soft shred with the new fastest lap to 50.2. And yeah, looks like TNR are going for medium if I'm not mistaken here. So they don't think the soft tires are any good. Interesting. The approach, so didn't see that coming, to be really honest. So for now, Steve in P6, Mad Dog still on that warm mediums in P7. Sluxy is on the charge again. Over the 250 and 251. Pushing, getting some dirty as. Ooh! I just spotted a code brown moment for FJ. That was pretty sure dirty air. He was so close to that wall. You! Oh. Crazy. How did he save that? I think he was a goner. I think he would have a massive crash, but no, somehow managed to survive. What about Sluxy? He's pushing, but tires are, of course, wearing again more and more. Those softs will have to go up until lap 10. Using the boost now, he's on the outside. No, couldn't complete that overtake now. The Mad Dog was defending, and Sluxy is pushing his overtake button like it's nearly depleted. No, but he's up into that P7 spot for now. Yeah, definitely more overtake for Mad Dog and FJ as well. So nearly friendly fire between the two TNR drivers. P8 and P9. FJ trying to hunt Sluxy. Let's see if he can follow. He's using a bit of boost now to get closer. Mad Dog in P9, Lorry in that 10th position on the outlap. D-Man as well on the outlap in P11, and Speed Racer still running his medium since the start in P12. A quick look at the sharp end. Still have Oscar in the lead, and Shred improving the fastest lap again, a 2:49.5. Roughly 5 seconds between the two. This probably will be the end lap for Oscar then to go on to the softs. Shred did 6 on the softs, will be doing one more probably to go then 6:55 with those softs. Dylan in that 3rd position. Might be the in-lap as well, we'll see, or maybe he stretches this one to 6 without our Beetlejuice up to P4, and good consistent run from the Finnish driver. Also the best last time round. Prodigy was in P5 with Steve right behind. Steve is on fresh mediums. We'll see if he can close that gap. Prodigy carried more speed into the turn, but close to the wall. It's 8/10 for now. Gets the power down nice and early, up to a second. Good run onto the grid, so 1 second remains. And the traction is really good still for Prodigy. Yeah, looks like he's using the higher gears here to avoid the wheel spin. Also saves the tires a little bit maybe. And now we see Steve with a good run, closing the gap again, less than a second. Prodigy understeers on the exit, loses another 10th, down to 7. And having a really good run now. Will he use some overtake help to get past CLR driver? No, he doesn't need to. But he is on the in lap, pretty sure. He's not slowing down that much. And oh, Prodigy staying out, doing. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't see that coming. I thought he was going to pit. Oscar also stayed out, so they're doing 11 and 5. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I was wondering why he was using the overtake, but he had probably this in mind. Again, that wall came close. Again, it's probably also the dirty air now. Coming out of the village section, braking for the sharp left-hander. And then it's a drag race. I'm still a bit confused why Steve is not using the overtake mode now. But that's too late. Yeah, I think it's more efficient with the overtake to use it a bit earlier than later. Yeah, good job here from Prodigy to stay in front. His tires. Course, coming towards the end of the stint, compared to Steve, who pitted on lap 8, so the tire advantage should be there. Also, Prodigy still has plenty of overtake here remaining, so maybe he wants to save something towards the end if there are any like overtakes or defensive moves. Like, you want to have like something in hand. Pretty sure about that. Will Oscar pit this lap? Pretty sure. Now it's 11 laps in, and yeah, it's in for Oscar. Shred as well will follow probably. No. It's doing something different again. Doing another 6 lap run on those softs. Dillard is in as well. Prodigy, the next driver, who I'd expect to pit, but I thought so last lap as well. This time I don't think he's defending. He's heading for the pit entry. Slugsy got past and pits as well. So the last scheduled pit stops now, except for Shred, of course, who extended his softs. So Shred leading will be pitting this lap. Oscar and out on fresh soft tires. Dylan as well on those softs. Steve is virtually running. No, he is P4. I think Shred has the gap is big enough for Shred to stay in front of Steve, or to stay in the lead here as well. We'll see, or maybe P2. So Steve P4, FJ P5, Beetlejuice P6 on softs, hunting the 2 TNR drivers on the mediums. Laurie then next for TNR in P7, D-Man P8, and we have Prodigy after the pit stop P9 with the fresh soft tires might be able to make some moves now. Sluxy in P10 on fresh softs as well. And we have 11 seconds to Snowy Mad Dog. And in P12, Speed Racer now also using the soft. So I think he's the only TNR driver that's using the softs. The other 5 were going for the medium one-stopper at this stage. Let's have a look. Prodigy D-Man, that is 1.3 seconds for now. It doesn't look like Prodigy is gaining that much, so we'll check with the leaders. 14, 15 seconds roughly for Shred. This should be the end lap, and maybe he's with the 4 to finish. He wants to make sure that the fastest lap also goes to CLR. So right, we should see Oscar taking the lead again. Shred comes out in P2. Dylan third. So the gaps are healthy for the top 3 CLR drivers to the TNR crew, with Steve still leading the team and FJ in that P5 overall, second for the team. Can they keep those positions? That is the question. Let's have a look at the lap times. 2:51, 52s. Beetlejuice with 51. On the softs are not that much quicker. And towards the end, the soft tires won't be that good. So, yeah, if you don't see him like gaining more than a second over those next 2 laps, then it will be tough, I think, for Beetlejuice to gain another position. Lorry and the D-Man 7th and 8th, and Prodigy is slowly gaining on D-Man. That's 1.3 for now. It looks like Sluxy had another mistake. 8 seconds for him. Yes, +7 on this lap. No damage at the moment, but definitely lost some time in here. This is probably the closest between the 2 teams currently, and Prodigy with a good run up the bridge, carrying the speed and momentum uphill, closing that gap down to 1.1. Gaining even more. Now I think he has confidence in those soft tires. But the D-Man has some overtake to defend, so this could get interesting. But Prodigy on a good run, half a second. But this is now where it gets a little bit tougher to follow, half a second. But good run so far for Prodigy. No sliding on the exit, 3/10, and D-Man using the overtake now to defend himself. Prodigy still look at that overtake. He's waiting for the right moment. When they cross the line, it's 3 to go. 50.7 personal best. Then he understeers a little bit, touches the wall, but doesn't lose too much time. Hugs the inside apex, doesn't run onto the grass, half a second still. So we'll follow him through. The right-hander lift needed, and a big lift for D-Man. Oof. Prodigy onto the grass. I think he was a bit surprised by the speed he carried compared to 2D-Man. It's 1.3 again. Quick look at Beetlejuice, who gained on FJ 1.5, so he did exactly what I basically said, so he needs to gain more than a second, and with a 52 versus a 52, so yeah, that's definitely more than a second. 1.7, so he's getting closer towards the slipstream range. Tires still looking okay with like half a lap and then 2 more. And a final lap might be a little tricky. But this is probably now tough to defend. The rear stepping out, lost the 10th, and this gives Beetlejuice the slipstream range. Let's see. There's still a little bit of overtake left here to use for Beetle. Gets a decent run, but not as good as FJ, who keeps that gap at 1.5 and has a personal best sector. And again, the exit is important. A little wiggle, and we're just trying to sneak into the slipstream range. It's 1.5. Not quite there. Ooh, this is the lap for Beetle if he wants to make something happen here again. Quick rundown. Dylan with a 246.4. What the actual? What happened here? That's an insane lap. 46.4. Probably used all of the boost for this one, but that is a lap and a half for Dylan. So yeah, Oscar shred Dylan 1, 2, 3, 15 seconds to Steve in that P4. FJ at 3 seconds gap, and Beetle with the boost and the slipstream closing the gap to 1 second now. FJ trying to break the toe. Less than a second now. So Laurie all by himself. Prodigy got up to P8 past D-Man then. Didn't see that. Sluxy is also pushing again. 49.0 on that last lap. 2.3 second to Demon, Snowy Mad Dog in P11 and Speed Racer in P12. We need to go here. FJ versus Beetle for P5. Oh no, and then we have a disconnect. D-Man. So TNR down to 5 drivers. And Beetlejuice was closer to a 3/10, was the gap already. Went up again through the more technical sections. FJ with a good run, 1 second that gap. So final lap for Oscar. Roughly 7 seconds to Shred in P2 and Dylan in P3. Steve, FJ versus Beetle, this is still the closest battle on track for position. They're starting on the final lap now. What's the situation with the tires and the boost? A bit more boost for FJ. Can he defend? Can he hold on to that P5? Ooh, there was a moment. Poor run, and then a bit out of shape, dirty tires maybe as well, and then a big lift needed. Another one who nearly crashed. But this is now a couple of times which I was not that close to the wall, and a millisecond later and it would be game over basically if they hit that wall. But FJ using the boost into the corner, and not sure, maybe a little bit of lag involved here with the two. FJ used all of the boost he had. Beetle still has a little bit. It's still not over between those two. They will fight up until the line maybe. Into the next corner, Beetle goes stress and goes around the outside, and no, this is not going to happen with a little bit of contact. FJ probably realizes that he squeezed Beetle into the walls. A good sportsmanship showing here, or that battle was heating up between the two. A bit of contact here and there, and Beetle running with some damage, but FJ was like, yeah, probably that was my fault on me. So well done for not carrying on and giving back that position. Alright, it's Oscar who wins for CLR with the medium to soft strategy. Shred with soft P2, and Dylan P3 for CLR, and that 246.4. And we'll have a look. Still not over, both are low on fuel though. I think Steve will get that P4, and it's Beetle versus FJ. The run to the line. No one has boost, and it is a photo finish, and it's Beetle and FJ, Lightning Lorry, and P7 Prodigy. With that P8 Mad Dog, and comes around, will finish P9 in front of Sluxy. Sluxy, a couple of mistakes, and that's P10 overall. And Speed Racer in P11 with D-Man with the disconnect for TNR. Wait. For Speed Racer to finish the race. Final braking zone. Crosses the line, and that concludes match day number 6 between CLR2 and TNR B. Well done, everybody. So let me save that replay. to spectate mode. I don't show that already, it is just after qualifying, so I'll put that in a second. So bear with me. So we have Oscar winning, Shred 2, Dylan, that is the slab P4, or TNR P5, comeback drive, that lap 1 incident, a spot P7, Tidgney, sorry. Prodigy. 8th spot. We Mad Dog. 9. 10th. 11th. And disconnect. Alright. So now we should be ready to see the scores. It's 79-37 provisional scores in favor of CLR 2. Yeah, as I said earlier, on a tricky combination, so well done everybody for racing this combination. And yeah, crazy fast lap times here at the front from the CLR drivers. Doubt about that. They pretty much set the tone early on. Those fast laps during the qualifying, the top 3. Tough to compete against them. Right. So that's it then from my side for coverage here. CLR2 versus TNR B. Yeah, we have on Wednesday still one more match to go to wrap up match day number 6. That's TNR A versus ART. Not sure where this match will be streamed. Maybe on the TNR YouTube channel. We'll let you know also to the match day, of course. And then yeah, once that is complete, the next matches for match day 7. So towards the end of August, then will be drawn by the tournament software. So we'll find out who's facing each other again. Alright, that's it from my side. Thank you all for watching and hope to see you soon for the next stream. Take care everybody and have a good start to your week. It's already Sunday evening. Maybe not much to do today. But yeah, have a good one and see you soon. Take care everybody. Bye bye.